What's up, guys? Shea Bell, BB Sports here. We're in my facility and we're going to talk posture today, okay? Top 5 mechanic. You got to have it, okay? This is not a negotiable thing that you can just, everybody's posture is a little different, okay? It may vary 5 degrees, 3 degrees, whatever, okay? But the best hitters in the world all have very, very similar posture, okay? So what is posture? Posture is basically, I'm standing here with it, okay? So right now my posture is up tall, okay? So what do we want our posture to be when we hit, okay? So when I stride out there, when I get to my launch position there as I go, okay? From that point there, we want our posture to pretty much be the same throughout the entire rotation of the swing there, okay? So my head's not moving as I rotate through the swing here. Okay, so when I go and hit this ball here, my posture should be leaning towards the catcher and leaning towards the plate here as I go into it. Okay, so when I go and hit here, I'm turning and rotating around my back hip there to where my posture now stays over into the plate, something around 30 to 40 degrees, and my posture stays back towards the catcher, something around 5 to 10 degrees there as I go. Now, when I'm hitting here, my posture will change based on the pitch, okay? So a lower pitch will call for more posture over the plate there as we go. Our posture from catcher side to pitcher side doesn't change all that much, okay? So for the most part, our posture leaning back will stay around 5 to 10 degrees through contact, okay? But for the pitches, like I was saying, outside, inside, up, down, we'll change our posture based on the pitch a little bit, okay? So a outside low pitch is gonna call for a lot more posture over the plate here and leaning more something like 45 degrees there as I go, okay? So leaning into the plate as we go into it. But a inside, say high pitch here, okay, is going to call for something that's going to be a little more upright here to allow myself to have a little more space to get to that ball there as we go, okay? So by the time my foot lands on the ground, we should already have an idea of what the pitch calls for with our posture, right? So once my foot's about to land and I begin to start rotating, I should already have my posture pretty much set as I go throughout the swing, okay? Again, it will change a little bit varied on the pitch, but we have to be able to stabilize through the core and maintain our posture throughout the swing as we go, okay? So we're gonna take a look at a progression that will help us with our posture. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the pro swings and what their posture looks like and get into it and elaborate a little bit more about what posture is, how we measure it, and all that good stuff. So stay tuned for that. All right, so we're taking a look here at Soto, and then we got Muncy on later, right? So we're just gonna take a look at posture and what we mean by posture, right? So if we take a look at Soto here first and kind of just let him go through the swing, we'll just kind of let it play here. And I put a little graphic on there as we go to make sure that you guys kind of understand that posture. So posture is just that right there. So you see that cylinder there that I put on the screen, and you can see how Soto's head and his posture pretty much stay the same inside that cylinder there as we go, okay? So we look at it and it's roughly 10 degrees back, right? So it's roughly 10, 15 degrees back there as we go. And we know that because when we look at it here, if I was to put, say, a rectangle around his hips here, okay, and let me get rid of the fill and go with that. Okay, now if I was to draw a line straight up with that, so if I was to say, let's put another little rectangle there, through his back leg and through his back knee down into the ground there as we go, he is leaning back towards the catcher about 10 to 15 degrees there as we get into it, okay? So if I get rid of those circles there, the squares there, okay, we can see in the swing again that He's really rotating nice and clean and doesn't lean forward. If anything, he leans a little back as he's rotating here, and that's the big thing that we want to accomplish when we hit. We want to make sure that we're leaning back into that backside over this back hip slash back as we go into it. Okay, so now if we look at our posture over the plate, so this pitch here is showing Muncy, and it's showing a little bit different graphic here, but you can see that tilt getting over the plate and setting as he puts his heel on the ground there, okay? And then when he rotates through contact there, okay, you can see him hold that all the way through contact there as he goes, okay? So again, if we draw, say, those rectangles on here, okay, we draw one through the hips there, and I'm going to lower that a little bit, bring that there, okay, and then we draw another one kind of straight through the middle of his body here. You can see that posture is really leaning into the plate there as we go, okay, so we get that a little more in the center there, okay, so we can see that posture is leaning into the plate there as we go into it, okay, so we really want our posture to be over the plate as we go into it, okay, we do not want to have our posture go to the outside, so over here towards the first base dugout for this hitter here with Muncy, because he's a lefty, right? We're trying to really hold the posture into the plate, okay, as we rotate. So in this drill here, we're really working on our posture, right? So it's point of everything we're trying to fix here, okay? So what we're gonna do here is we got a cable machine in front of us here. We're gonna set it down at the lowest angle here as we go. We're going to set it up, and we want to try to start with a lighter weight here as we go into it. So I just got like 15 pounds on the cable machine as we go, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get into a split stance. So a split stance is just basically kind of like a short lunge here as we go into it. I'm going to get my posture over my front leg here to where my head's kind of right in line with this cable machine there as I go. My hand's in line with the cable machine here as I go. Everything's in line with it. Now, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to turn my torso through as far as I can without my head really moving there. Okay, it's just kind of pivoting at that point there. And then I'm going to just finish that rotation up through it as I go. Okay, so again, we want like no head movement. What I see a lot is like standing up out of it to do it. I see like going out and you're not in line with your rotation here as we go. Okay, so we're in line with our shoulders here. It's just like I'm rotating on a circle there as I go. Okay, so trying to finish above my head as high as I can go there while keeping my torso nice and sturdy and stable, and my posture's not changing here all over the place there as I go into it, okay? So one more rep here, really turning through that as my head stays stable there as I go. All right, so what we're doing on this drill here is we're gonna be working our posture here, okay? Top 5 thing that we wanna work on in the swing that's gonna basically dictate whether I have success or not on the field here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into a split stance here. We're gonna be really over the top of the ball here as I go, okay? We're gonna have the tee at a fairly low height here as we go so that I can be over the top of it here and still kind of turn through the ball there as I go through it, okay? So I'm trying to get my torso to rotate all the way through this swing here and be able to turn and finish through this ball here without my head losing my posture up out of it or falling back too much, falling forward, whatever it is, okay? So we're just getting in front of this ball here, head over the ball here as I go. I'm about, if you guys look, I'm roughly about a barrel length behind the ball here as I go into it. Posture getting over the ball here the whole time. I'm trying to rotate here and make sure that I'm rotating without my head moving. My barrel's on playing with this ball here and on playing with my shoulders as I go through it. And then my goal here is to try to kind of hit the inside seam here, drive it somewhat back up the middle. We want to stay off the side nets. We want to not roll over here Our goal is to kind of be inside that ball and drive it right back through the middle here. Okay, so we're gonna go through a rep here and try to show you guys a good one. Okay, really stabilizing from our core here, really trying to hold that finish through my swing there, making sure my head doesn't come up, okay, making sure that we hold our posture, we're able to turn our spine through contact there and hold through contact so I can get a nice line drive through it, get nice backspin. We don't get any top spin. We're not spinning balls because I'm dropping my right shoulder. We're not top spinning balls because my head's going out of the box there as I go through it. All right, so now we're getting to just hitting normal here. So we're gonna try to take the same concepts of posture into our swing here. Okay, so essentially when we go and hit, we're trying to, when I get stride and land from that position here, I want to make sure my posture really doesn't change too much as I go hit, okay? So what I'm gonna do here for this is I'm just gonna go to a no stride position here. We're gonna start from that position, and then our last drill will be a little bit more normal, okay? But from this position here, we're just gonna get into a good solid base. I'm just gonna make sure that I'm counter rotated, I'm loaded into that hip, and then from here, all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a swing there and try to hold that posture there, not let my head move too much, be able to just have that first move be a good one and drive this ball the way I want it to, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and do a rep for us here, show us what it will look like. Really holding our posture through contact, through the ball and the finish there as I go. I wanna make sure my head's not going and I rotate and it falls out of the box, or I fall into the box, or whatever it is there as I go. Head perfectly still there. Posture, just rotating through contact there as we go, okay? Making sure that my core is stabilizing, my lower half stabilizing, okay? All that good stuff. Hitting the ball right back up the middle. We're staying to kind of right center, left center. We're staying off the side nets there as we go and hit that ball. All right, so now we're going into a normal swing here. So we're gonna work the same thing. Again, we're gonna work kind of a low ball here so that we have to maintain that posture as we go into our swing, okay? But just like all the other drills that we were doing in this progression here, we're going to make sure that when I get to my launch position and I start rotating through it there, I'm gonna be able to hold my posture, hold my head in place here as I go, okay? Slightly towards the catcher, slight lean in towards the plate, okay? So we're just gonna go through a rep here and show you what that's gonna look like. Really holding our finish again, okay? Making sure that head stays stable there. You wanna try to hold your finish for a good 2 to 3 seconds there, making sure we're able to stabilize from our core, stabilize from our hips. The better we have our first move and rotate through holding that good posture, the easier it is to hold the posture as we go into it. Right? So it really is a top 5 mechanic in the swing. Without good posture, you cannot expect to have consistent results as you're swinging there, okay? So make sure you guys are working on your posture, give this progression a try, and if you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, share, and stay tuned for more, guys.